We've all been waiting for this, so it's time for Makoto to explore his first dungeon at the Will of Fenrir. Makoto was greatly surprised by this news, but Fenrir wanted Makoto to explore this dungeon in order to better become familiar with earth magic. Makoto was a little scared and still agreed, but before that he decided to eat to strengthen his combat skills, since the goods from the online grocery store give this effect. He ordered a variety of food in an online grocery store and began to slowly taste it to understand what kind of food gives what effect. After checking how many characteristics the food gave him, he decided to go to the dungeon. At first he has encountered slimes, which he more than coped with, and immediately Fenrir told him that the same dungeon, which shocked Makoto, absorbed all the monsters that were killed in this dungeon. After victory over the slimes, they went deep into the dungeon. First they met horned rabbits, then goblins, and they did stumbled with kobolds. Makoto got scared but defeated them without any problems. After celebrating the victory, they went on. Upon arrival at the place, they found a lot more opponents than that was voiced by Fel. Makoto was a little taken back, but Fel pushed him into the battle. As soon as opponents saw them, they immediately rushed into the battle. Makoto was numbed with fear, but fortunately Fel barriers came to rescue him. He thought that he was finished, but then his new comrade Sui unexpectedly came to rescue. Gathering his forces, Makoto rushed into the battle, and then, together with his familiar, they easily coped with the superior number of the enemies. A couple of enemies suddenly disappeared somewhere around the corner, and after a couple of seconds flew out of there. As it turned out, the boss, the King of Kobolds, was present in this dungeon. Makoto just did this by running away from the boss. Any attacks by Makoto toward the boss were nothing to him. Makoto fell to the floor, and then Fel said that in case of a direct attack with the boss axe, the barrier could be destroyed. This fact gave Makoto strength and allowed him to cast an enchanted version of the Stone Bullet spell. After casting this spell, he still managed to inflict damage on the enemy, but this was not enough. The enemy continued the attack and stuck the barrier and began to break through it. Makoto was about to decide that it was all over, but then Sui came to his aid. From the loss of mana, Makoto lost consciousness, and when he woke up, he found himself near to Sui. Sui greeted Makoto, and he answered him the same, and only then Makoto realized that Sui could talk. As it turned out, this is the effect of getting a new level. Makoto decided to check the characteristics and found that he was weaker than Sui. Since Makoto used up a lot of mana, he decided to cook a special dish that would allow him to restore his strength. He chopped the onion, prepared the meat, and beat the egg. Then mixed it all together and served it on the table. Fel as usual was very happy with the new dish. Stewie did not refuse either, and when he finished, he asked for more. After lunch, Makoto found out that Sui had already talked to Fel and started calling him Uncle Fel. Fel didn't like it and he began to get very indignant, which upset Sui a lot and he started crying. Fel saw this and, as an exemption, allowed Sui and only him to call him Uncle Fel.